Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Master of Ceremonies, Navy and Vietnam veteran, Mr. Bobby McDonald.
Good morning and welcome to the City of Anaheim's Veterans Day celebration. I'm Bobby McDonald, and I'm a proud U.S. Navy veteran and an even prouder descendant of a World War II Buffalo soldier. Yeah, thank you. I look forward to this event each year because it's a time when we can gather for one common purpose, honoring the brave men and women who have served our great nation and recognizing the sacrifices they have made to protect the United States of America. Before we get started, a little housekeeping note. Restrooms are open over here in the museum, right over there. And please take a moment to look at the historical Veterans Day poster stamp collection display created by the Anaheim Community Services. As we begin our program, I would like to invite former Mayor Pro Tem, current Planning Commissioner Chair, and founder of this event, Lucille Kring, to lead us in the invocation. Following the invocation, please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Anaheim Fire and Rescue Color Guard and the Esperanza High School Concert Choir under the direction of Michael Klein will be singing the national anthem. Can I get everybody to please stand?
Thank you, Bobby, and good morning to everybody. When I first started this event, I wanted to find a way to bring our community together to show our veterans how much we support them. I grew up on the East Coast and came from a military family, so this is something that has become near and dear to my heart. I'm proud to see the city carry on this event for over 16 years now. Over the years, I've come to know many of Anaheim's servicemen and women and honor their commitment and dedication to protect our freedoms and liberties. It warms my heart to see so many veterans and their family members here today. We have old ones that come every year, and we have new ones that I haven't seen before. So thank you. Please bow. Dear God, we thank you for bringing us together on this beautiful morning. We ask you to honor and protect all of our veterans who selflessly put their lives on the line to serve our country and defend our freedoms. For those serving, help their families find peace and comfort as their loved ones are away. God, we ask you to give your love and healing to those who have come home from service and are struggling with their own challenges. And send love and strength to those who have lost a loved one in combat. May we all come together with gratitude as we honor and pray for those who have done so much for our country. Amen.
Now, march on the colors.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam? and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Retire the colors. Thank you, Anaheim Fire, Color Guard, and Esperanza Concert Choir. Let's give them one big rousing applause. Thank you. Very nice, very nice, very, very nice. Very, very nice. You please be seated. We have many special guests here in attendance with us this morning, and who I would like to recognize. If I can ask you to please hold your applause until the end. That'll be a chore, but we'll try. It never happens, but I figured I'd at least ask, okay. From the Anaheim City Council, please welcome Mayor Ashley Aiken, who we will hear from in just a moment. Okay, nobody did it. All right, well, I knew you were going to do it anyway, so it does make a difference. Mayor Pro Tem Natalie Rubalcaba, who also represents District 3, where we are here today. Natalie. District 2 Council members Carlos Leon. District 4 Council member Norma Campos Kurtz. District 5 Council member Steve Fessel. And District 6 Council member Natalie Meeks. I know we have down that Assembly member Sharon Quirk Silva was supposed to be here. Is she here yet? Okay. And I know I don't think we missed any others, any other representatives. Very good. Well, let's get after it, right? Okay. Today's keynote speaker, veteran and Marine Corps aviator Alexis Federico. Just wave out. Okay. We also have an Anaheim Fire and Rescue Chief, Pat Russell. He's here today. His department has been a constant fixture at this event, and we thank him for keeping us safe at home. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize today's co-event organizer and Army veteran, Nick Gomez from the City of Anaheim. Thank you, Nick, for your service to your country and your veteran community today. Okay. Well, before I introduce the mayor, I'd like you to know that this Veterans Day, we celebrate the 75th anniversary of President Truman signing the Women's Armed Services Integration Act, allowing women to serve in the military other than nurses. And also that act made sure that women could be moved into the government workforce as employees. We also celebrate the Executive Order 9981, ending segregation in the United States Armed Forces in 1948. With that, oh yeah, please, made a big difference in our country. Now it is my honor to welcome a passionate advocate for veterans, the Honorable Ashley Aiken, our mayor of the City of Anaheim.
Thank you so much, Bobby, and thank you to the color guard and the amazing choir. My hair on my arm was standing up. It was so beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, obviously, to our Master of Ceremonies for all he does for not just Anaheim veterans, but veterans for around Orange County and California. Wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you to Anaheim's Celebration of Veterans. We celebrate you not just in our city, but in communities across our great country, in remembering your sacrifices, those that we have lost, and the impact of your service, not just on you, but on your families and your loved ones. On behalf of Anaheim, it is my honor to welcome you and extend my gratitude to all veterans and military families that are here with us today. Throughout my career, I've had a unique opportunity to really privilege and champion the cause of our veterans, and it has been a personal passion of mine. While serving on the Orange County Fair Board, I was a part of the planning and approval of the 2017 opening of Heroes Hall on the fairgrounds, which is not only the preservation of the history of that property as the Santa Ana Army Air Base, but Heroes Hall is one of the original barracks that housed our veterans in that community and is now also the proud home of the Skyhawk that is in front of the museum, as well as the Serenity Garden, which is a personal reflective space for our veterans that are dealing with some of the post-traumatic stress that comes from their service. I also had the opportunity in my legal career while serving as president of the Bar Association to proudly start the Veteran and Military Families Committee, a standing committee that offers pro bono legal services to our veterans and their families, no matter what legal challenges they are facing. And today, as the mayor of Anaheim, I get to help make a true dream a reality as we see the cemetery coming to the East Hills of Anaheim. And it does warm my heart. Yes, please. It does truly warm my heart to know that my hometown of Anaheim will be the final resting place for veterans, and more importantly, for their families and our community to come together and honor them and their service. So with the help of our county and state partners, we stand ready as a city to make that happen in the months and years ahead. Because we need to be the ones that advocate for our veterans and our military families. They need us to fight for them as hard as they fight and fought for us. In the words of our former president, Teddy Roosevelt, he said, "Anyone who is good enough to shed their blood for their country is good enough to be given a square deal afterwards." And in the face of such great sacrifice, we are here today to thank you in ways that we know words will never capture. How many of us can say that they have sacrificed everything that we have for the rights and freedoms of a lot of people that they have never met? That is truly the most that we can ask of anyone. And that is what our nation's veterans have done for us without reservation, time and time again. And so we want to thank our veterans for really giving us everything that is part of our American history and our America that we know today. Without our veterans at the beginning from the Revolutionary War, we would have no country. And for the veterans in the Civil War, neighbor fighting against neighbor, brother fighting against brother, to preserve our great union and our great freedoms. Without the great veterans from the world wars, as well as the sacrifices of those that fought for us in Vietnam, and then only to come home to not be often given the welcome that their service and sacrifice deserved, we thank you. And to our modern veterans that have been in the arenas of Kuwait, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria, thank you for fighting there to keep us safe at home. And while war may be the ultimate ask, being a veteran isn't always about combat. Our veterans have served as engineers, intelligence officers, system operators, medics, truck drivers, and so many other roles. And without all of these, our nation's military would not be what it is. And as you can see, those that come home and work in our city, join our fire department, join our police department, our city would not be what it is without their sacrifice. Anaheim is proudly home to 10,000 veterans. As a city, we honor them year-round, including here at the Anaheim Veterans Monument. Dedicated in 1999, the monument depicts all branches in the wars of the 20th century. Those depicted in the monument include veterans that are right here from Anaheim. It was designed by former Army infantryman and Anaheim resident Richard Turner. The monument seeks to capture not the flash of war, but the everyday experiences of those who served. So when you come up to take a closer look, you will see a soldier in a mess hall, a sentry with a rifle over his shoulder, a nurse tending to a wounded man, a woman who stands saluting. It shows the real people who serve, someone's father, someone's mother, someone's sister or brother. Nearly all of us have someone in our family who served or is actively serving today, including me. And no one knows the sacrifices of veterans like their loved ones. So while today is about those who served, we do want to pause to honor our future veterans, those who are now serving us today. Here in Anaheim, we are proud to have adopted the 13th Marine Expeditionary Unit for more than 15 years. Members of the 13th MEU were unable to join us today, but are with us in heart and spirit. In one unit, the Fighting 13th represents the very best of America's military, with the ability to operate by air, water, and on land. The 13th MEU also provides invaluable training for our allies, and just finished training at Camp Pendleton with guardsmen from Singapore. So today, we honor the 13th MEU and the entire Marine Corps, which just celebrated a very big 248th birthday. I definitely thought I was going to get more oorahs for that one. But happy birthday anyway, Marine Corps. With the march of, that's what I'm talking about. With the march of time, we are seeing an inevitable generational shift in America's veterans. We are blessed for every moment we have left with our remaining World War II and our Korean War veterans. Our Vietnam vets have taken on a leadership role for the veterans who came just after them. And we know that just as the veterans from World War II and Korea did for our Vietnam veterans. Our Vietnam and Gulf War veterans are now playing a similar role for a new generation of veterans who are serving in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Syria. I encourage all of you to reach out to our next generation of veterans and keep that bond strong, because that is the legacy of becoming a veteran. And to our younger veterans, I invite you to reach out to the VFW and the American Legion right here in Anaheim. You will find a warm welcome, amazing food, and cheap beer, right, Bobby? Here in Anaheim, we will continue to honor those serving, those who have served, and veterans that we have lost. And veterans are all around us. They may not be in their full dress uniform, you may not recognize them, and they may not always be sporting the clean-cut war hero image, because there are many types of war heroes. And sadly, some, even too many, of our veterans may be on our streets in Anaheim. So I encourage everyone to raise awareness of veterans, their needs, and what they have done for us. We cannot simply spend one day or 1 hour acknowledging the sacrifices of our veterans. We need to make sure every day that our veterans are being treated with the dignity that they deserve and have access to the services they need. It is down to all of us to be their advocates for what they have done for us. So thank you. May God bless our veterans. May God bless Anaheim, and may God bless the United States of America.
Woohoo! Yeah, one more round of applause for the mayor. Well, she mentioned the cemetery up in the hills of Anaheim. Let me give you a little update because I know some of you are going to ask me anyway. So the cemetery up there in the hills will be two layers. Number one, the veteran cemetery part will be the high ground, of course. Right below it will be the county cemetery. So we'll have two cemeteries there. So the county will be there, and then, of course, the veteran cemetery. And we have worked out some nice plans so that our allies who can't be buried in the veteran cemetery with us can have a section in the county cemetery for them. And thanks to the Board of Supervisors, there's going to be another section for our first responders, for our fire, our police, and EMTs. So that's how we're really looking at our city and our community, for those who have been serving and helping. And I kind of wanted to bring that to you. We're real close from getting what's the final decision on the cost and everything. We wanted to have it today. We can't announce it, but it's close. I can tell you that. And by the way, we have a new Department of Secretary for California, Lindsay Sin, who's a Navy veteran, and so we'll get this thing moving. All right. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Major Alexis Federico. Major Federico served as a UH-1 Huey helicopter pilot and instructor in the Marine Corps for a decade from 2003 to 2013. She was the first female instructor pilot at Marine Aviation Weapons and Tactics Squadron 1. She was a pilot at Marine Light Attack Helicopter Squadron 367, where she completed multiple combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. Alexis was selected as a Marine Aircraft Group 40 Aviator of the Year and received the Order of the Dalians Marine Corps Exceptional Pilot Award. After her time in the Marine Corps, Alexis received her law degree from UC Irvine. She now works as an attorney and remains active in the Orange County veteran community, actually serving as the newly elected chair of the Orange County Veterans Advisory Council. Now, let me do this. Let me break it for a second. Let me highlight the significance of the Dalian Awards. That's a society of World War I pilots, and they give an award every year to one pilot from each one of the branches of service. Let me try it again. One pilot for each one of the branches of service. And please join me in welcoming someone who represents the very best of our nation's service personnel, our veterans community, and an inspiration to us all, Major Alexis Federico.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me okay? All right, good morning. First of all, the Marines in the audience, I'll give you a pass. I don't know what that hoorah was. I'm assuming you guys celebrated too late last night, maybe? Thank you, thank you. So I'm honored to be here and spending my Veterans Day in the great city of Anaheim. And what a great city it is. When I first left the military, one of my first ways of serving my community was to help my husband's Afghan interpreter and his family resettle from Afghanistan back to the United States. And they came to the great city of Anaheim. And I am so impressed at how welcoming and supportive and warm this community has been to him and other refugees from other countries, including Afghanistan. And so thank you. And thank you all for being here today and for supporting our veterans. I want to thank Mayor Aiken for her wonderful speech and her support, as well as the rest of the City Council and City staff. It is really important that you are all here supporting our veterans today, and it really means a lot. I also want to thank Bobby McDonald. If you're an Orange County veteran and you don't know Bobby McDonald, you need to come up here and meet Bobby McDonald. He is a tireless and fearless advocate for Orange County veterans. And so, Bobby, thank you for all that you've done. As an OIF and OEF veteran, I also want to especially thank the Vietnam veterans in the audience today. You have worked so hard in making sure the generation of veterans that have come after you are treated with the honor and dignity and respect that we deserve, and we are forever indebted to you. So thank you and never forget. So we're obviously here today to honor veterans, but I've come to realize that veterans are not only recognized for their tremendous acts of service in uniform, but also for what they continue to do for their communities once they leave active duty service. Veterans serve as elected officials, teachers, Little League baseball coaches. They serve as Girl Scout troop leaders, police and firefighters, and community leaders. And why? Because veterans make great citizens. You know, I've had the privilege of attending many veterans-related events over the past couple of weeks, and there's some magic that happens when you're a veteran and you meet another veteran. Now, you can come from completely different backgrounds, different states. You can have different political views and religions. You can look completely different from the veteran standing next to you. You can do different things for a living. But you could have served in the service 50 years apart in different branches and in different countries. But as soon as you meet another veteran, you feel a sense of belonging. You speak a common language and you just get each other. And you feel this sense of belonging, and it's good for the soul. And when I was at these many events the last 2 weeks, two things became abundantly clear. Veterans need each other, and veterans need a purpose. The Commandant of the Marine Corps' League South Coast Detachment 22 was honored this week as San Clemente Veteran of the Year. And he retired from the Marines after more than 2 decades of service as a first sergeant. And during his speech, he said something that really stuck with me. He said he's been able to help more Marines now that he's a civilian and a retiree than he ever did in his service at active duty in the Marine Corps. And he said, service doesn't end when you leave the service, it just begins. So I have to admit, I didn't always feel this way, right? I left the service after 10 years, and quite frankly, I am privileged to have served, and I loved my 10 years in the Marine Corps. But it was an exhausting 10 years. It was a challenging 10 years. You know, this was the time of back-to-back deployments in OIF and OEF, and you know, as Bobby mentioned, I was an instructor pilot in Scarface, HMLA 367, and we deployed the first UH-1 Yankee upgraded Huey to combat. Most of our pilots had only been flying that aircraft for a couple of months. We didn't have maintenance pubs for that aircraft, so poor avionics was out there struggling to, you know, transition from old steam gauges into fixing and fighting state-of-the-art glass cockpit type aircraft. We supported the Battle of Marja, which was at the time the largest joint operation. We inserted 15,000 Marines, Army, US service members, joint forces, NATO, Afghans to retake Marja and turn the tide in the Helmand province. And then after that, as Bobby mentioned, I transitioned to the Marine Aircraft Weapons and Tactics Squadron, where I worked to develop new tactics to deploy this awesome aircraft, okay? It was a great time, but I was exhausted. And so when I went to law school, I thought, okay, well now it's time to focus on me, right? Like I've done my service, now I need to focus on building my career. And I remember the dean of the law school, Dean Chemerinsky, the first thing that he told us is that you are privileged to be where you are. You are the privilege to have a legal education, and you need to continue to serve. You need to put that legal education to good use and serve the underprivileged. And I thought, no, that's good for all these young kids, but I've already done that. Well, then, of course, as a veteran, you just can't help it, right? You can't get help getting pulled back into continuing to serve. And then from there, I started helping my husband's Afghan interpreters. And then I had the opportunity to found the Veterans Legal Clinic at UCI Law School, where I met Antoinette Balta from the Veterans Legal Institute, another amazing advocate for the veterans community. I was appointed by the Orange County Board of Supervisors for the Orange County Veterans Advisory Council, and I serve with wonderful people like Mr. Bobby McDonald, where we advise the Board of Supervisors how to best serve veterans. I'm on the board of the Flying Leatherneck Historical Foundation, where we're trying to bring the Marine Aviation Museum back here to where it belongs in Orange County. And through a random turn of events, I started volunteering at my local animal shelter, hopping bunnies around the shelter. So we take them out of their cages, we hop them around, rehabilitate them, make them adoptable, and then that's what I do. And I'm not saying all of this to brag about how committed I am, because there are people here, many of you, who are more committed and do more for their communities than I do. But I want to stress the importance of continuing to serve and to encourage the modern veterans to get involved. If you are a veteran and you do not have a community of veterans, find a community. Get involved with your local veteran service organizations, the VFW, the American Legion, others. Heck, if you're here, walk up to any veteran in the audience and tell them that you want to meet other veterans, and we will help you. If you're a veteran here and you don't volunteer for a community organization, what are you waiting for? They need your skills and they need your expertise. In particular, the Vietnam vets have been carrying the torch for too long with respect to our veteran service organizations, and they need some new blood and they need some help. And I get it. I know as an OIF, OEF veteran, it's hard. A lot of us are still starting our careers, building our families, and quite frankly, just trying to get by day to day. But your community needs you. And whether it's volunteering with the Girl Scouts or your Little League, or volunteering with veteran service organizations, mentoring at-risk youth, or hopping bunnies at your local animal shelter, your communities are better when you are involved. To those who are already volunteering, which is probably most of you, thank you. To all the veterans here and their families and their supporters, thank you. Have a wonderful Veterans Day and a wonderful Veterans Day weekend.
One more big, rousing round of applause for Major Federico. All right, Alexis, I really got to do it, all right? I didn't want to do it, but I got to do it. She told you all the things she did. I know how good she is, but you all seen the movie Top Gun, okay? And the call sign for Tom Cruise was Maverick, and his best friend was Goose. Guess what her call sign was? Bitchin' Betty. And she's nice, but boy, I tell you what, you wouldn't want to run into us anyway. Anyway, thank you. And by the way, when you get a chance to go into in the hallway over there, take a look, because we got some pictures of her in action. But again, thank you, Alexis. Thank you for so much. All right, veterans, our next song is for you. The Esperanza High School Concert Choir will lead us in the Armed Forces Medley. As the song sings, we invite, as the choir sings your song, please we invite you veterans and active service members to stand with their branches presented in the song. Go get them. Start with the Army.
Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, crowds are marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high he in the field artillery. Count off their numbers loud and strong. 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3. And wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day, 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 day. Through our last night on shore, hail to the foe. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee.
Through howling gale and shot and shell to win our victory.
Semper Paratus is our guide, our pledge, our motto too. We're always ready, do or die. High Coast Guard, we fight for you. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, flying high to the sky.
Giving up to beat our thunder.
Attaboys, give her the gun. cheerfully. We will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, Space Force, the United States Marines.
Yeah. Whew. Way to go. Way to go. Varsity. Good stuff. Okay, we've heard from some great speakers today, and I hope today's event inspires you to think of veteran wherever you go throughout the year and today, whether it be the grocery store, a restaurant, or even in your neighborhood. The Anaheim Public Utilities is here to help residents show veteran support by giving away a green light bulb that you can display outside your house. It's part of the Green Light Vet campaign, and green is the color of hope, renewal, and well-being. And the green light is a term commonly used to activate forward movement. This is a great way to show our veterans returning home from deployment that we see them and we support them. So please be sure to stop by the table after the ceremony to get your green light. Though some people may leave a green porch light on year-round to express their support, most people use the color bulb around Veterans Day and Memorial Day. As our ceremony comes to a close, a couple more items. Personal thanks to Michael Lister, Nick Gomez, Anaheim Sporn, and the Anaheim staff behind the scenes that helped to make this day awesome. Reminder, please take a moment to look at the Historical Veterans Day collection and see the history maker Alexis Pasadak's Federico's pictures in the museum. And by the way, as a proud Papa moment, Christine Hunt, my daughter, Downtown Community Services Coordinator, put the display together. Thank you, Christine. I would like to invite all the veterans to assemble in front of this historical monument for a group photo. So come on all up, you VFW 3173s and the American Legion Post 72s. Come on up. Thank you all for coming today. To our veterans, their families, and the loved ones, we appreciate you. And God bless America. Thank you.